Ballerina. So let's talk about the John Wick spinoff, Ballerina. Now, this is let me give you a quick intro. So this is going to be set in between the events of John Wick Chapter 3 and John Wick 4. Okay, that's the timeline with this. So Ballerina, it follows Rooney, who is a trained assassin raised in the Ruska Roma crime syndicate, all the ballerinas and stuff with the Roman family. Russian family. After witnessing her family's murder, she embarks on this mission to find the people responsible, make them pay, right? With every move that she makes, her vengeance unfolds in a world steeped with rules, tradition, and of course, brutal consequences. John Wick, basically, right? So let's talk about what was good in this first. And I think the easiest thing we could start off with would be Ana de Armas, right? Ana de Armas, I thought, does a wonderful job in this film, as you know, obviously the main character, Rooney. And what she does, I think, is she brings like a very good blend of vulnerability and toughness at the same time. I thought that her action scenes were really captivating. You constantly are rooting for her to win, but I think what made her performance that much better was that this movie was not oblivious to the fact that she's a small woman and sometimes she's going to go fight against very large, strong men. And what I liked is that they recognized that. They didn't just make her completely OP and she just could be flawless and beat everybody up because it wouldn't look believable, you know. And before I get my little feminists in here and stuff, yes, I understand that sometimes that happens with men, but usually the men are a little bit more skilled, they're trained, bigger, stronger, whatever. And sometimes it gets bad for them too, right? Because I was actually a fan of the movie The Amateur, and I thought it was refreshing to finally see a lead actor or a lead character not just be the super invulnerable person. And I like the fact that we got that here with her because she is deadly, but she's not like, oh, I could just wash everybody, right? So I like that. Made it feel more realistic. But more importantly, you see her development, you see her training, which means also everything that she gains in this movie, it feels earned. And because it feels earned, it makes her more likable and more believable. So I really enjoy that. I thought they did a really good job with that with her. But of course, the biggest highlight in this movie is clearly going to be the action, right? The fighting and the action is what you're here to see. That's what you want. And this movie, the action never ever lets up. The opening scene grabs you immediately. The brutal fight choreography makes every single moment feel intense. You know, I thought that the fights were crisp, the choreography was on point, and it also felt grounded to the point where it really felt real. The weapon stunts were amazing. They had all these different stunts with all these different weapons. I loved them. The flamethrower scene, yo, clearly you can tell somebody was a fan of Dragon Ball Z or at least some sort of anime because it looked like they were paying homage to that throughout the whole movie, right? With the flamethrowers. You'll know them when you see them. My favorite scene probably was the grenades. Wow. Wow. I ain't never seen grenades used like that. So I like that. I thought it was amazing. They did a really good job with that. Now, something else to kind of talk about was the pacing. Now, I know some people are like, E-Man, how come you talk about pacing? You don't like pacing. No, this actually did a good job with the pacing because to me, there were rarely moments that the film slowed down. The action would often come sometimes without warning, just real spontaneous. And that forces you to not look at your phone. It forces you not to go have random conversations. You have to pay attention because you never know when something is going to pop off. You never know. And like, especially this scene right here. Oh my God. I loved this scene. This was the club scene. I thought it was perfectly edited, and rather than, hey, let me show you every single person that she beat up in every single fight, sometimes they will show you the damage that she leaves, and that communicates enough. And I thought that was perfect. It was a great touch. And one other thing, this movie I thought did a really good job of giving us subtle humor in the right moments. It was the perfect touch. The humor in this movie, it never broke the tension. It didn't try too hard. It wasn't forced in there. They weren't like, oh, let's try and be clever and put this. No. The humor fit the story. It fit the characters. They came in at the right time. You got your little chuckles in, but you didn't. And it gave you just a little bit of breathing room, to get to the next point, but it never broke the momentum. It never got goofy. It was perfect in my opinion. So I liked how they did that without making this an action comedy. They never go that far. Now I have to talk about the bad. So I have to say, as much as I enjoyed the action and the fighting and the stunts and all that, the story was probably the weakest point of this. Now, yes, the setup of it was compelling. There was a bit of a mystery going on, but I don't think that the big reveal hit as hard as it could have. Again, the mystery was cool at first, but that payoff, it just didn't feel like it was going to blow you away. Now here's the thing. You are not going in to a John Wick spin-off movie for the story. So, yes, while I think that this is a weakness in the film, it's not going to make or break anyone. No one is going to be like, oh my gosh, that story was so boring, because you'll have so much action and other stuff to watch. It'll be entertaining. So I have to list it because I'm a critic. That's what I do. But yes, the story, the writing, it could have been a little tighter. It could have been a little bit more engaging. Yes, it's an action film, but that doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice the story either. But again, most people ain't even going in for a story anyway. So let's get into the reason. I would say that Ballerina is nonstop action. It's a nonstop action roller coaster ride that delivers everything John Wick fans could hope for. Ana de Armas, she is proving easily that she belongs in the action star category. While again, the story, it's not groundbreaking or nothing, the film more than makes up for it with the excellent stunts, the brutal fight scenes, and standout moments that I think a lot of crowds would really enjoy. So when it comes to the rating for Ballerina, I would give it an 8 out of 10. It's a strong addition into the John Wick universe. And I think it's a good sign that if they keep going like this, the John Wick franchise has a lot of gas left in the tank, right? You don't always need to bring John Wick Part 16. You can go into different directions and it can work. I would also say that Ballerina is probably the best pure action film of the year so far. Sorry, Tom Cruise. I love Mission Impossible. But if we're talking about a straight up classic action type of movie, this to me beats out something like Mission Impossible, which I enjoyed as well. I would recommend watching this in the theaters. Watch it with a crowd if you can. And I'm here for a sequel. If they want to do a sequel, I'm here for it. But anyway, what do you guys think about Ballerina? Is this something you plan on watching? If and when you do, come on back to this video and let me know, what did you think about it in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.